Yo, what's the business? What's the business? How y'all doing out there today? Today is the very first episode of the Kook Up. You hear me? And I got my boy, my brother from another, Mr. D. Adams in the building. So, how you doing?
Bro, great too, man. It's a pleasure, bro.
So, today we get in the kitchen with him. We about to see what he cooking up, what he thinking, see some of the things that he put on his menu, and it's right here at the hometown, Gary, Indiana, man. So make sure y'all check it out. Yeah, let's get it.
King Kook Up. I still wake up hungry, living life like it's my last. And I'm all up by that bag, since that basement with my dad. Facts. Teach a man how to fish, his family eat forever. Blow for show, long as we pull our resources together. Cook up, 2 times, that mean bitch pay me double. No need for your rebuttal. Oh shit, y'all in trouble. All designer on my temple. Got a drool and wanna lick 'em. What you smoking confidential? I think it's evident that this shit monumental. Feel like the president. Cook up so presidential.
Okay, so now we in the kitchen. So Mr. D, what we cooking today?
Man, today what I'm going to be preparing for you guys is Raging Cajun pasta, chicken and pasta. Usually we can add shrimp to it, we can add a different variety of different things that we can add to it with Raging Cajun. But today, all intents and purposes, we're going to make marinated chicken. I mean, succulent, usually 24 to 48 hours in reference to the marination process, and pasta. We're going to add a little bit of broccoli to it as well, just to pair it together, and garlic bread.
And garlic bread. You hear that? My boy is chef over here. This is Mr. D. Yanis. If you're not familiar, get familiar with what this man got going on. So we're going to let him prepare his deck, and I'm going to get ready to eat, but I'm going to ask him a couple questions as he prepares and does what he do. All right?
Yes, sir.
So D, man, who are you and where you from?
Man, so I appreciate you asking me that. First of all, I just want to say congratulations to yourself, man.
Thank you.
And by this being the first time, man, you know what I'm saying? It's a blessing, man. God doing that thing. He working that thing out for
I
us.
truly appreciate you, bro.
For real. So, my name is DreamRich. I'm from Gary, Indiana. I graduated from Gary Westside High School in 2002. A little bit after that, I went down to Nashville, Tennessee. Went to college down there and studied business at first, business management. Felt like that wasn't the right fit for me, so then I went into law enforcement. I went to criminal justice. School for criminal justice. I got an associate's degree in criminal justice.
Where you from?
All over, man. Really, my mom was like a Rolling Stone in essence. You know what I'm saying? So she was an addict. So what ended up happening with me early on, I ended up getting taken away in custody because my mom was an addict. Went to the Carmelite Home for Boys. I was basically raised by nuns and priests. Went to Hammond Clark for a while, high school. After that, I ended up going to Gary Westside High School, and that's where I ended up graduating.
So that kind of changed my questions because I maybe thought that the cooking and the soul maybe came from a mother, father figure, some situation like that. But I don't want to look over this part. Most people that's been through those things, they give up. You know what I'm saying? So even for you to even be here to have your own business, that's amazing. That's amazing. I commend you for that. What did you go to Tennessee for?
Well, originally, man, you know what? It was just like, you know what? We're going to just step out on faith. You know what I'm saying?
You and mom's?
Me and my ex-wife.
Okay, go ahead.
That was my high school sweetheart.
Okay.
We have 2 beautiful children together.
That's dope.
We decided to say, hey, man, we was going to pack up our stuff, go down there. My brother was already down there in Nashville. And so I was like, yo, Nashville is a beautiful place to be. You know what I'm saying? And so I was going back and forth while I was in a home and stuff like that. Going down there visiting every summer and stuff like that. So I said, you know what, this is going to be our stop. We're going to stop here. So we packed up all our stuff, man, like probably a couple days after graduating. We felt like we was ballers at the time. Because, you know, people give you a little bit of change.
Oh, yeah. When you graduate, graduation.
You feel like you get about like 5,000. You feel like, man, you balling. So
when you get married, too. I know about all them packs.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? We felt like we was balling. So we got down there. We realized, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know, it's time to get busy. And I tell you, a real true story, man. This true story about this whole situation. As soon as when I landed, I was thinking as we jumped on 65 right there. Jumped on 65 going south. And I'll never forget it. It was a real dark night. We probably set off at probably about 11 o'clock at night. And
that's a proper move though.
yeah, it was at night. Something about that vibe, man. I'm telling you, we jump in the U-Haul with all our belongings. We don't know where we're going. We know where we're going, but we don't know what's going to happen yet. We jumped out there on faith. And it was ironic because that night it was completely quiet on 65. It was like really like eerie. It was like really quiet for probably about an hour down when nobody on the road. It was really unusual. So if you can imagine just driving in the U-Haul, you and your significant other, and you don't know where you're going. You guys are basically just driving into your destiny in essence. You know what I mean? And all you can see is the yellow road signs. The yellow road signs. And it's real eerie. It's real quiet. Not really eerie to say, but it was real dark and it felt lonely, but you was stepping into a different realm of life. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's dope. I had to ask, man. So what you about to say?
Oh, I'm sorry. And so directly after that, so as soon as we landed, we ended up getting there probably about 6.5 hours later. We ended up stopping. We ended up getting there probably about 8 o'clock in the morning, Nashville, Tennessee, when we arrived. And I was telling her on the way there, I was like, yo, I gotta find a job. I need a job. I don't got no job lined up for me at all. As soon as when I originally pulled up into the U-Haul place, man, you know you gotta drop off the U-Haul vehicle back at a certain time. As soon as when I pulled up, it was a guy named Dan Thompson. I'll never forget it. He was sitting there. He was leaning up against the doorbell like this. He was smoking a cigarette. And you can tell he was kind of like stressed. He was going through something. And as I pulled up, it's called a 1 through 3 step where you gotta basically like when you pull up your U-Haul truck, you gotta basically go through it and check it, make sure everything is there, mileage, the gas, stuff like that. And he was like, yo, I need some help around here. He was smoking a cigarette, man. It was a long cigarette too. He was smoking it hard. And I was like, well, I'll work. He was like, really?
Right.
He was like, you know what? Since you said that, I'll pay you $10 an hour. When can you start?
This was a long time ago too, wasn't it?
This was in 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was in 2002 when I ended up getting a job, and that was the beginning
of your journey.
Out of high school. Right out of high school, man. $10 an hour in Nashville. The first day. The very first second I ended up landing in Nashville.
Never give up. Never give up. And walk on faith, man, because you never know where you might go.
Absolutely.
Okay, so where did the food influence come from?
Oh, man, you know what? I grew up, I tell you, man, I grew up before everything kind of like broke down for us. I'm the youngest of 4.
Okay.
But I kind of like grew up watching mama and grandma and them. I mean, making stuff from scratch, man. I'm talking about biscuits and gravy and jams. And,
that's what I'm asking.
We talking about all the good stuff, man. I'm talking about all the stuff, man, all the works. So chucking peas and picking, you know what I mean? And snapping peas. And
yes, sir.
When we get them switches too when we messed up.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
That's
so
dope.
where it all came.
So that's where that come from.
Yeah, and I'm a foodie, man. I just love food, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. So my next question, what's my next question? Where did your passion come from for cooking? Like now that, because I believe you've learned things from different people, but then you have to develop your own passion for you to keep going.
Right.
So where did the passion come from? Was it, because you did law enforcement, you did several different things.
Right.
Where did that passion come from to be, you got D. Andrews popping right now, bro?
Right. So I guess for me, man, the passion was always just, you know, I'm taking a walk in faith, right? Again, that's what we've been talking about. But the passion always comes from first, you give all honor to the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
That's what you do. You always make sure that you know, because I come from praying people. Keep God first, He'll guide you there. The passion for me was always been because, in essence, really Gary is a food desert if you think about it.
Go ahead.
We always have to step outside of our own realm and our own boundaries just to go eat substantial eating.
Go ahead.
And so for me, I was thinking to myself, I said, man, I gotta be able to bring something different to the table. I don't want to be like everybody else. No pun intended to nobody else.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
You can.
To nobody else, whatever. But I want to step out and say, hey man, why not make food fun? I like to cook how I like to cook. Yeah. Again, no pun intended. If you add something to your pasta that I don't add, I'm sorry. I just add what I like to my pasta. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I do. And this is like it's basically like a expression, right? So I'm basically expressing myself through my food. And it gives me passion.
And the crazy thing is this, in my notes, I got faith walk. Wow. You can look here and see, it says faith walk. Wow. Man. Because for some reason.
That's real talk, bro.
That's real talk, you understand? Now, and that's not a question, that's not a statement, it was just something I wrote down.
Yeah, that's God.
Because I believe that in order for a person to really step out, you got to step out on faith. Yeah. And what you're doing right now is commendable because you're believing in what the Lord has blessed you with. You feel me? Absolutely. So with that being said, I don't know why I wrote faith walk, but this entire interview from the beginning has been a faith walk. You understand? Yes. So so what's your specialty?
Man, you know what? Really, I'm gonna tell you to be honest. Everybody always asks me that, and I like to say, not even in a humble way, man. I just like to cook. I love cooking. So anything that I basically put my mind to, and I say, hey, look, let me go for it. I go for it. Yeah. There's not too many things that I really can't cook, but there are things that I don't cook. And the reason why is because I really don't eat a lot of things. Like, for example, I'm not gonna go out in a realm of making sushi if I don't eat sushi. I got you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stay in my comfort zone, get right with what I do. And a lot of cooks, that's what they do, or a lot of chefs, or whatever you want to consider yourself. A lot of them, they jump out there and they try to have a resume of everything, as opposed to just narrowing it down to the things that they really are good at. Exactly. And so once I tapped into that, I realized, I was like, oh man, it's going up faster than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Than, you know, than I thought.
Right. So now you cooking in the house. Right. You creating your name, and then you get over here at Playoffs. Yeah.
Well, it started off in 2018, man. I started off at the time when what was it, 2018 or 19? Either 18 or 19, one of those. 2018, in the summer of 2018, when the spicy chicken sandwich came out. I was laying down, me and my old lady, we was laying down, and I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, I can do that. I know I can make a better chicken sandwich than that. Right. And I'm telling you, man, she was telling me, she was like, yo, like, if you post a picture of your chicken sandwich, I'm telling you, you better be prepared for it in the morning. Right. And
that chicken sandwich ain't even that good, just being honest.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Come on, D, talk your stuff, bro.
Yeah. So I was like, you know, I got a little process. I said, I think I got a process. I think I can make, you know, something happen better with it. You know what I mean? Because it's not going to be stepped on. It's going to be all organic. It's going to be non-processed meat. Not too many people are going to touch it, and I'm going to go directly to the source to get the chicken.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I ended up doing. And so I'm going to be honest with you, man. I made one, prepared one, marinated it, did the right process that I thought would be better. Right. And turned out, man, the next morning I ended up posting it, went to sleep. And I'm going to tell you exactly how God is. We talking about faith walk. God is real, y'all. Yes, the next morning, my phone was blowing up like bing, 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 bing. Ring, ring, ring. People like, yo, I want this.
This is the story I want.
I mean, this is unbelievable. This is real talk. I can't make this up. And you know, like I said, the beautiful Miss Karen, she can basically attest to that as well. You know what I'm saying? She was right there, you know, right next to me, and everything that she said that was gonna happen, pretty much basically did happen. You know what I mean? So I put it together, man. I started getting calls from everybody, man. So from all over, from Horseshoe Casino to Methodist Hospital to
for the chicken sandwich.
For the chicken sandwiches, yeah.
That's dope. So I know that's on the menu now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I was gonna say now that you have Playoffs, you moving and grooving, you done stepped out the kitchen on faith. I love what you got going on. Okay, so what's the top seller on the menu?
Well, right now, pretty much, man, everything is doing pretty well, to be honest with you. But right now, I can tell you that the jerk chicken gyro is doing, I mean, absolutely wonderful. And I think the reason why.
Chicken gyro.
Right. See, like you see what I'm saying? It's like a bite to the words, yes, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something so different. It's almost kind of like ironic and not ironic, I guess, like totally different. And that's what we want. Raging Cajuns, we dare to be different. And
Raging Cajuns.
Raging Cajuns, yes.
I was getting to it. Yeah. I was getting to it.
Okay.
Why Raging Cajun? Where'd the name come from? Because I was thinking at that, I'm like, he must be cooking with spices.
Okay, well, you know what? That's true. Okay. I do use a little bit of spice, but not over the top spice. But I'm gonna be honest. I used to work for an individual probably about maybe about 5 years ago, and they had a crab shack, and neither here nor there. I was the main person that was in there that was doing the preparation of the food and the cooking and preparing the food for the customers. Gotcha. To make sure that they was right. And this particular day, the owner of the establishment came in. I guess I had used a little bit too much Cajun on the crab legs. So anyway, he was like, man, you know what? I don't do mine like that. I think you should just not do that. I was like, man, well, you know, I've been here all day, man. I'm gonna tell you, man, you know what I'm saying? It's been booming, you know what I mean? I'm like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right. You know what I'm saying? But let's just go with this, even though I understand it's a bottom line that show establishment.
Okay, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It ain't your establishment, but.
Right, but hey, man, look, I'm gonna go ahead and just step out on this thing, and I understand this is this man's location, so I gotta make sure that, you know, I'm respecting this.
And step off the right way.
Right, step off the right way. And I explained it to him, and neither here nor there, he ended up saying, man, I'm gonna start calling you Raging Cajun. And I was like, wow, man. I was like, okay. Thanks. You know what? It didn't dawn on me at that particular point, but I know that it was something about how he came at me that made me say, you know what? I got your best interest.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's basically like giving you a name almost, and distinguishing you away from everybody at the same time.
Absolutely. And then I ended up running with Raging Cajuns. That's what I ended up doing with.
That's amazing.
Absolutely, that's the truth. That's
amazing. So with the Raging Cajun, everything's amazing and it's blazing.
Absolutely, and tasting is believing. That's all.
You hear me?
Cook up 2 times. That mean bitch pay me double. No need for your rebuttal. All shit, y'all in trouble. All designer on my temples. Got a drool and wanna lick 'em. What you smoking confidential? I think it's evident that this shit monumental. Feel like the president. Cook up so presidential.
talking about. I don't even eat tomatoes, but on today, we eat tomatoes.
Say something, baby. You gotta say something.
Hard to talk. Tasting this booty.
Hold on. I gotta taste everything. Hold on. Hold on. On my life. Absolutely everything is good, Chef D.
Thank you, brother.
Raging Cajun. I'm finna fuck this food up. I'm not playing.
You gonna change the name?
You guys that just watched the first episode of The Cook Up. I really want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Tell a friend, tell a friend. If you know a small business owner that's cooking in the house or got a small business somewhere cooking, make sure you send them through the email, DreamRichTv@gmail.com, DreamRichTv@gmail.com. Yo, I want to say thank you to my chef again, Chef D.
What's the
Yanders.
race?
I don't know what it is, man. I'm gonna go crazy. Be safe, take care of yourself. Raging Cajun!
King Cook Up. I still wake up hungry, living life like it's my last. And I'm all about that bag, since that basement with my dad. Facts. Teach a man how to fish, his family eat forever. Blow for sure, long as we pull our resources together. Cook up, 2 times, that mean bitch pay me double. No need for your rebuttal. Oh shit, y'all in trouble. All designer on my temple. Got a drool and wanna lick 'em. What you smoking confidential? I think it's evident that this shit monumental. Feel like the president, Cook Up so presidential.